Case study number 1 by Tyler Tassi. Potterbox step 1. What are the pertinent facts of the situation? The Westboro Baptist Church has decided to come to Payne County and protest at the funerals of 6 high school students who died in a car accident. The Westboro Baptist Church is infamous for using fallen soldiers' funerals and other events as locations for anti-LGBTQ and anti-Semitic protests. A radio station's general manager is considering offering the group 5 free minutes of airtime to say their message in the hopes that the Westboro Baptist Church will not protest at the funerals. Step number 2, values. There are professional, personal, and sociocultural values involved in this ethical dilemma. The professional values of proximity, recency, conflict, and impact deal with the radio station failing to minimize harm if they allow the Westboro Baptist Church to spread their message on the airwaves. The radio station is located in Stillwater, which is in Payne County. This leads to a high chance that the family and friends of the local teenagers who passed away could hear the Westboro Baptist Church message, which frequently blame the deceased for the so-called sins of the world. This would fail to minimize harm. The personal values of independence, stewardship, nonviolence, commitment, and self-control relate to the radio station failing to act independently. If they allow the Westboro Baptist Church to say whatever they want on the airwaves, even if they agree not to protest at the funerals, the station would not be acting independently. The station has an obligation to the listeners to provide quality programming. The Westboro Baptist Church message is not that programming. The same thing goes with the socio-cultural values involved. The radio station must show restraint and not agree to allow the Westboro Baptist Church to use their station as a platform to spread their message. Potterbox Step 3, Principles involved. The principles are Mill's Principle of Utility, Confucius's Golden Mean, and Ubuntu's Human Dignity. This is also the step where I came up with my ethical decision. Mill's Principle of Utility states that we must seek the greatest amount of happiness for the greatest number of people. And to determine what is right and wrong, we must look at what will bring the best consequences for the welfare of human beings. There is no doubt that allowing the Westboro Baptist Church message of hate and bigotry will not bring about the greatest number of happiness for the greatest amount of people. Confucius's Golden Mean teaches to reject the extremes and seek the middle path. The Westboro Baptist Church message of extreme bigotry and hatred are extremes in society, and therefore, according to Confucius, must be rejected. Ubuntu's Human Dignity states that we must treat all humans with respect by friendly relationships. An act is wrong if it does not strengthen communal relationships and instead encourages division. The Westboro Baptist Church will only serve to divide the community. The last step of the Potterbox deals with loyalties involved. There are 5 loyalties involved in this dilemma. The radio station has a commitment to people and to society to provide independent quality programming. And allowing the Westboro Baptist Church to speak on the air to spread their bigoted message and thus legitimize what they are saying violates the most important loyalty, duty to society. As I have stated multiple times, allowing the Westboro Baptist Church to speak on the air for free violates the Society of Professional Journalists Code of Ethics of minimizing harm and act independently. Minimizing harm states that ethical journalism treats sources, subjects, colleagues, and members of the public as human beings deserving of respect. The Westboro Baptist Church does not treat certain members of the public as human beings deserving of respect, so allowing them free airtime violates this code of ethics. Act independently states that journalists must act independently and free of conflict of interest. Making an agreement with the Westboro Baptist Church does not follow the SPJ's code of ethics for acting independently. The radio station is basically agreeing to extortion if they allow the Westboro Baptist Church to speak on the airwaves. In my ethical judgment, I would not allow the Westboro Baptist Church to have 5 free minutes of airtime on the radio station. The ethical principles that I identified, the values involved, the loyalties that the station has, and the Society of Professional Journalists Code of Ethics all point to not giving the Westboro Baptist Church airtime as being the most ethical decision.